and gentlemen, part 2 of 80's Babies Chronicles, Era of carrying radios and cassettes knocking. Had a little mishap, but anyway, like I was saying, Bronx hip-hop shaped the landscape of the music for the 80s, right? At that point, I'm a kid, you know, I'm just going off what I'm hearing, so at this point, everything coming out of York, you know, early on, you know, into like the mid-80s, you had the West Coast, you know, guys like Ice-T, who came out with Colors. You had Too Short from the Bay, like the Ghetto, and you had NWA, still out of Compton. But you had other cats on the low. I remember like King T, you know what I'm saying? I remember Dub C the Master, Lynch Mob, you know, when Cube had his own little thing, you know? You know, he had the Rascal, it was a lot. Then he had Hieroglyphics, man. Della Funky Homo Sapien. You had, man, Casual. You had the whole crew. I'm talking about Harold, man. Them boys was spitting. Right? But between that, rap shifted to, you know, the gangsters. And with the gangster came the gang banging. And as a kid, growing up in the East Coast, moving to the South, and seeing movies like South Central, right? When guys like J-Rock, it was the one that Deuce Hill, it looked so like cool, because we seen Colors, and we knew that it was gangs in California, you know, but it was like, it wouldn't be the magnitude of that around this way, you know, East Coast, I'm thinking as a kid. Like I said, it's the era of carrying radios and cassettes knocking. So, you know, we still outside partying, jamming, and then the East Coast started emulating the West Coast. All of a sudden, you got gangs, and then the whole shift came when the South became the key players in the game. Because that's when rap just became, oh man, let's be real, a bit weirder. I mean, let's not act like it wasn't weird groups in the 80s and the 90s, but what the South did was made things kind of like normal. It was crazy. For example, it's my guy, one of the pillars out of the A. His verses was classic on everything he touched. Damn near. You know, he got a fine ass baby mom, she a legend. Shout out to Miss Badu. Well, Andre 3000, right? Andre started wearing turbans and wearing like furry pants, like shoulder pads. We was like, yo, what's up with Dre? He going crazy, but he was bringing that fire on the mic, right? And then the whole Dungeon fam, man, the boys was wearing some weird stuff, right? CeeLo Green, get up them boys on it, like Trans DF Express, right? Now watch for the hook video, they had it cool. Everybody had the super song, they was doing the whole Reservoir Dog. That was classic, right? But y'all remember when CeeLo Green and Drake 3000 was going crazy with it. Now Big Boy, he kept it player, you know. Shout out to Big Boy, I said, you know. And then like when he did the speaker box up a little out, I'm going a little ahead, but it was so diverse how the music it came that we grew up listening to them guys going back and forth killing. But me personally, I fell in love with that love blowout. But anyway, I'm gonna get to that later on. Like I said, once the South, the A in particular, because around like 88, 89, 90, you had the Ghetto Boys come out in Houston, Fifth Ward, you know, Bond playing tricks on the Ghetto Boy album. Child's Play, Chucky, one of the Bushwick, rest in peace, Bushwick Bill. He had that Child's Play album. Chucky, he was doing with it. You know, I said Big Mike. You know what I'm saying? Then you had Luke down there in Miami doing his thing. He had Poison Clan. You feel me? Yeah, them cats had his own home team. Pick it up, pick it up. But anyway, once the South became their sound in hip hop, it changed how rhymes made hip hop. You know what it was, because back then, you know, I'm not only taking these James Brown's samples and George Clinton samples and all these funk elements and soul and jazz and making this new genre. I'm just, you know, hearing this for my first time, not knowing, you know, the samples. And these guys, you know, they were saying some real things on that microphone, right, over these beats. And then around, like, I say the mid-90s to the late 90s, when the South started trying to get in the game as a rap, you know, consumer, part of the culture, you know, I seen how they looked at the South, like, yeah, you know, because it was cats like, you know, I remember early on, man, like, when Trick Daddy came out, he had like a magazine cover. He was in a cover, oh yeah, Fools Down, and he was like, yo, he trying to fight over Dirty Bastard. But, you know, he was Trick Daddy at the time. We didn't know he was going to be that big, but it was like 96, 97. Right, and then you had, oh my God, see, not to be funny, but one of the biggest groups in the late to mid-90s from the South in particular was like the 3-6 Mafia, right? Now, the 3-6 Mafia had some good music, and at that time, I'm listening to the music. I'm not really grasping the whole concept and everything, but as I got older, I realized what the 3-6 Mafia meant and what that whole thing was, and I kind of fell back from their music. I'm not saying I don't like their music, but it was kind of like, you know, you listen to something, you know, it might be a little bit not too holy. But Recipe Gazable, you know, I love the whole set. Low Emphasis, Country Black, Coaster Nicks, Paul, Juicy, Pat, Chad. You know what I mean? Shout out to Fraser Boy, shout out to what's the one, Whitewood, Firecracker. Like, you know, Memphis had their own sound, you know, early, like this is late 80s, early 90s. You had groups like 8-Ball, MJG out of Memphis, right? And to be real with you, they was one of them groups that you knew they was Southern, but you couldn't hate on them guys. Like, it was a guy from the North, East. So, you know what I mean? I was like, them boys could go. Big Ball, JG, them boys could spit. This is the 90s. You feel me? And then, right, it was certain groups that came out from the South in the 90s that stood tall with the New York style of rap at the time, right? Because other than New York, boy, I ain't really getting no shine like that, yeah. You know, Jersey, yeah, like Naughty and them, Redman, you know, Latifah and them, Apache, you know what I'm saying? Like Nicky D was from Jersey. Who else from Jersey? Like Long Hill, the Fuji and them. You know what I mean? Outside of the Rock Digger and them. But it was pretty much, New York for the most part. Even like with Philly. Philly had like cats that was on, in the 80's and 90's, the 80's, the Cool C's and Steady B's and Will Smiths and stuff, the Schoolie D's, and I said, it was making like national noise, But then like during the 90's, those things, and the Street Profit Crew, and Gilly, with the Major Figures and them, and like coming out the cuts like Coltrane was coming out the cuts early 2000. You know what I'm saying? Philly Most Wanted. You know what I'm saying? I remember it's the late 90's, early 2000 now. Like when New York still on top, but everybody was trying to get a little shine on. Because I gotta admit, for me, I love Jay. He's one of my favorite rappers for two reasons. One, he came from the project as a hustler into a billion, and then two, also Jay put on a lot of artists from the city of Philadelphia. Going for Jay, when he got no beans, no state property, you know what I'm saying? Not to be funny, right? Jay put on Philly then, like harder than like a Will Smith type kid, you know what I mean? Not be funny. You know what I'm saying? Like, Jay put on more Philly niggas than anybody, you get what I'm saying? I mean, Ross put on me, you know what I'm saying? But as far as like, it was a point when dudes were going to certain towns that was hot. It was trying to get the sound, you remember? Like Pharrell went with Philly Most Wanted and Roscoe P. Coltrane, and Timberland got with Miss J. You feel what I'm saying? And like it was different times when like they were trying to get that lyrical sing. It was all about the lyrics, right? That's what my whole thing was. Once the South got a hold of the music, it was the sonic, right? That bass, because the South, it was a heavy bass thing. Miami, DJ Magic Mike and all that, the bass. By the way, I'm in the state of Illinois. You know what I'm saying? Down here by the Ville. You know what I mean? We doing a version of EBC, EOC, live from the truck stop. It's where I get my showers at. You know what I mean? Every day too. Don't play with me. I wash my ass every day out here. Like I said, rap. When the style rap came, it was more about the beat. Because they was all about the cars. They called it with the system like, ooh. See, New York rap was about the words. That's why, you had to have your Walkman on to understand what it was saying. You know what I'm saying? Like, the radio, like, you had to hear about a speaker. You get what I'm saying? When rap was in that era, you get what I'm saying? Carrying radios and cassettes knocking, right? Because, it was like learning the lyric and see, can you master the song? So when I was young, right, I be messing up something. It was like back then, learning songs word for word. Like we would challenge each other, like, you could learn the song as fast as, and you know what I'm saying, recite it. You know what I'm saying? Being back in the days, you know what I'm saying, my family, and like, back then, hip hop was like, you know, you had to really sneak and listen to it for real. Cause my aunt definitely didn't play it. When we moved down south, I had to stay with my aunt. She did not play us listen to, you know what I'm saying, hip hop music. She called it rock and roll. Y'all been ever listening to rock and roll? And I, you know what I'm saying, I said myself, shoot, I don't listen to rock and roll. I listen to rap, so my big cousin, my favorite cousin, shout out my big cousin, Corey, CL, Wiley, you know what I'm saying, big cuz used to be having cassettes on the low, recording all the, you know what I'm saying, this is back when BET had Video Vibration, Paul Alexander, you feel me? Video Soul, Donnie Simpson, Sherry Connor, you feel me? Rap City had Chris Thomas, the Mirror. He be sitting on the bench. Oh, we on the air? Oh, yeah. We on the air? So, look, it was hip hop back then. You had to put your ear to the radio and try. Listen, you know what I'm saying? I'm coming up in an era when, you know, I'm 7, 8 years old and 88, you know what I'm saying? You got my philosophy. You got Ain't No Half Step. You got, you know what I'm saying, EPMD, you got The Chill. You got Runner's House. You got freaking DOC, Funky Enough. You feel what I'm saying? Like, it was dudes spitting, man. You know what I'm saying? The whole NWA movement, Easy them guys, man. Because Easy had his own solo album before he dropped it. My name is Easy and this is true. But, I mean, Easy, oh my God, man. Easy does it with my joint, man. Word up, rest in peace, Easy. Like I said, you know, even Easy, you know, he was getting his rhymes wrote, but yeah, lyrics, you know, like I said, when lyrics mattered, right? Before it became out the Sonic Boom. So once the South got that 808 bass, it changed the landscape of the music, right? And it was a groove, but it took away from what they was really saying. And see, them guys started, now you funny, like, started saying anything that sounded good, like, and it was like, as a hip hop, you know what I'm saying, consumer or this participant, this, you know, a fan, whatever the case may be, and you be listening like, it's different, but it ain't what you used to, so you gotta conform because you want to hear it all the time. You know how they program you, play the same song on the radio, you know what I'm saying? It ain't even hot, but they make you listen to it. So it was like, when the South, I'm saying, got from the late 90s to the early millennium, that's when it went crazy. Because they kept it tight. Between 95 to 2000, it was putting out some heat, man. The whole Dungeon family, I'm talking about like Big Boy Andre, the whole good, you know, and you know what I'm saying? Even like, it was like Freddie Calhoun, man. I used to like Freddie Calhoun. I got people that still on the road. I got people that still on the red. I got people that, like, shout out to Freddie Calhoun, man. I said I love the culture, man. I was like the sound. I was one of the cats that appreciated the art. You know, I ain't, you know what I mean? It wasn't so much the artist. It was the art. Like, if you had good art, I appreciate it. But you could be an artist I like, but art was garbage to me. I didn't, you know, ain't not a person. It's the culture, right? But anyway, I said I'm supposed to put out some heat between 95 to about 2000. The game changed in hip hop when it became, like I said, less about rapping. Around this time, this when Lil Jon and them boys came in, right? Let's be real. You had all these cats like, let's be real. Soldier Boy and these cats. You know what I'm saying? A lot of these dudes, like, let's be real, a lot of Georgia acts, they want the best barsmiths, right? They want what we're used to as hip hop consumers from, you know, the northern hemisphere, right? That's why we gravitated to the Tips, to the Jeezys, to the Luders. I mean, we liked it Gucci, but we had to gravitate towards Gucci because at this point, hip hop was still kind of biased about who run it lyrically. Now, this at the point when this early 2000 now. So, you know, you had your J's and Nas beefs, and then you had your Kisses and them coming out, you know what I'm saying? The Property and them coming out. Then you had your G Units and them coming up. Then you had your dudes like Ja Rule that was running shit for New York at this point. This early 2000, Ja Rule was running shit. Let's not forget. Then you had, you know, the Wu dudes was coming through still. Like the, you know what I'm saying, the Ray and Ghost projects were still dropping, you know, Riz was still doing his thing a little bit, Bobby Digital, and then you had Jamal Deep, you know what I'm saying, you had your Puns, you had the Fat Joes, your Norries, your Camerons, your Cannabises, you know, like at this point, New York was still step as the hip hop center, right? But meanwhile, this early 2000, 2002, 2003, get crunk, get crunk. You know what I'm saying? Like, yeah. And then what he was doing, he was like, if you notice how Lil Jon killed the game, he would have them kind of beats that was so crazy when you hear him in the club. Then he'll have like some of the illest niggas rapping on him. For example, like, I don't give a fuck, right? You getting crunk in the club. I don't get. He had Crazy Bone, Mystical, and what's the other joint? Like, man, I forgot. Anyway, I'm just saying, right? Lil Jon would throw, like, you didn't hear that chick China White. He would throw all these people on these beats. Like, he had Kiss and Styles on his beats. Like, Lil Jon was the part of hip hop that changed the game, because it was all about, yeah, what? It wasn't about the lyrical, spiritual, right? It was the beat. See, at that point, you got dudes like M out here, right? You know, this early millennium who's spending their life away. You know what I'm talking about? M, like, you know, let's not front on M, right? As a culture, right? M one of the dudes, right, that seen the culture for what it's worth, right? He loved it and he mastered it. And he took the wordplay of it and twisted it a whole nother level we won't even think about. And we was like, yo, this dude crazy with it. Not because he was white, it was just because he was crazy with it, right? He just happened to be white. But as you start listening to his lyrics, man, I ain't gonna hold you. One of my favorite songs is I am whatever you say I am. Man, that boy am 8, right? Like I said, when rap started losing its lyrical prowess, we began to lose the consciousness and the identity of our culture, all right, lyrically. Because once the South got it, oh man, let's think about it. The South created, let's think about what the South created, man. And be real about it. South created mumble rap. South created tight clothes, drill rappers with colorful hair and fancy outfits with a lot of jewelry on. They will shoot you in your goddamn face. Now, this is the era after the fitted caps and jerseys and, you know, felines, you know, that was out the window. You know, the early 2010s, Atlanta, right? 10 years ago. Now, think about it. In 02, Atlanta was just 20 years ago, 03, right? Because, to be honest with you, the real king of the A to me, I'm going to say it, Jermaine Dupri. Right? Because without Jermaine Dupri, Dallas Austin as the face, and you know what I'm saying? Atlanta wouldn't even have a sound for real, right? Y'all had Arrested Development. And dude was from Minnesota, if I'm mistaken. I used to love Arrested Development because it was like, you know, it was different and new. You know, Tennessee was one of Jones. I used to love Mr. Wendell. You feel me? They used to get busy off of Mr. Wendell, right? But then, like I said, after that, Atlanta, y'all had like MC Shotty, right? He was from New York. And then, like, at the same time, I feel like Atlanta got their identity through TLC, ABC, and Criss Cross through Jermaine. By the way of the Brat, just from the show. And then he ushered in like the Escapes, the Jagged Edges, you know what I'm saying? The Anthony Hamiltons, you know what I'm saying? Like JD gave Atlanta a sound besides Dallas Austin, right? Let's keep it a bang now. What the Dungeon did was gave Atlanta a hip hop sound. You know what I'm saying? That dirty South sound. You feel me? And you go back to the first Outkast album. Their first album, they had a couple grooves on that joint. I used to love, I hear voices in my head, they be calling me. I was listening to that joint like 14 years old when niggas were on like, what's up, man? Listen to Cadillac Funky Music cassette. You hear me? Yeah. And I was like, these dudes, they got something different. And this is the era when you had Keith Murray out. You know what I'm saying? You had Old Dirty Bastard dropping, Brooklyn Zoo. You had, man, so many, like, you know, hip-hop was at a point where motherfuckers was dropping shit every day. Not every day, but damn near every month, every 2 weeks was something dropping. Underground, mainstream, whatever, you know. And what the Dungeon did was separate itself from everything that was coming out, because New York had their sound, then you had dudes from the Midwest that was coming out, like your Bone Thugs and your Twisters and your Commons. You feel me? And then you go down to, something I said, from like DC, Maryland. DC, Maryland really never had no one particular rapper that held it down. Cause you had cats like, you know, I remember do like Section 8 Mob. I remember B Rich, Roll Down from Baltimore, right? Like I said, it wasn't really like a rapper that blue like that from Baltimore or DC. You know what I'm saying? Now DC and Baltimore got some talent, all that. Feel me? Shot Lil Mo and all that. Boxers, ill niggas, you know what I'm saying? That's my family, that's my roots. Right? But at the same time, I feel like Wale, it was the closest thing they had. They could rap for DC, but you know, I think a lot of dudes don't really, you know what I'm saying, get with Wale on that same time, but you know, it didn't have some good joints. I used to love that, Pretty Girl, and then we don't have, oh yeah. Like I said, as far as the South, right, and then you got Virginia. See, I'm gonna be real with you, between Virginia and Atlanta, they changed the rap game for the better, but maybe for the worse. I'm not saying Virginia or Atlanta did it for the worse, but think about this, right? You remember when Virginia had it on Smash? When Tim and Missy came out to talk, and Pharrell came out to talk with Clips, and then, you know what I'm saying, he was just putting out beats everywhere. It was them boys just killing the whole game, the whole early millennium, right? This is like before, you know, like I said, the 90s had South acts, but it was the Atlanta sound that made they stand out in the 90s because there wasn't no sound for them in the 80s for real, like I said. And for the South, you know, the closest thing you had to a South sound was the Ghetto Boys, right? You know what I'm saying? Be real, like, or Luke, right? I said when it came less about lyrics and more about the beat, you can say anything on top of a dope beat and it will surpass. This was what it was going with, right? Because it was dudes like the late great DMX, rest in peace. They didn't respect a Young Jeezy lyrically, right? At one point, if I ain't mistaken. They Nas had a little beef with G, I think, something like that. The franchise boy, something like that, saying hip hop was dead because when they had it, right? Remember that? When Nas said hip hop was dead, it's like 09 because the A had it, remember? Now, was he lying? Was he lying? Because it was at that point when everybody started sounding the same. For example, started off with Soulja Boy Tone, how you, and next thing you know, how you, party like a rock star. Next thing you know, you got all these groups that sound like the same kind of music, right? Quavo, D4L, no boys, out everywhere. You had these one hitter quitter groups dropping, right? Let's be real. It would have groups like Tat It Up, Tat. It was out at that point and it was eating because it was Atlanta. Atlanta had that sound, right? You had the Crime Mob, Knuckle You Buck, you know, Scrappy. He was killing it, right? He was the king of the President Crunk, right? Anything with that crunk sound and that snap your finger two-step became the landscape of hip-hop, right? All that lyrical shit out the window. This is like 05, 06. I remember vividly, right? J-Ho tried to drop King Come, and then, you know, then it was young dudes who was supposed to come out. It was coming out. They really couldn't blow because of the landscape. I remember Saigon was supposed to be that dude at that point. He couldn't break through because of that southern takeover from out of New York. And then Papoose, same thing. He would have been that dude at that point. But it was that southern takeover, right? Even to the point where the New York dudes that had it won't let niggas eat. Because at this point, early 2000, New York, you had Jay, and him and I was going at it. Then you had a young, hungry 50 Cent who was on the come up. And then you had them Harlem niggas. They was still outside. And the Wu was still like, hold on, we ain't over. You know what I'm saying? And then it became a point where they were beefing with each other internally. The whole New York was beefing with each other. And the South, meanwhile, was clicking up, getting to go. So when the New York started beefing with each other early 2000s through the whole, you know what I'm saying, through the whole 2000 to the 9 to the 10s, that's when Atlanta took over because by that time, they had found their sound, right? It was that trap, clap, snap. In between T-Pain coming with the auto-tune sound, everybody ran and took his shit, you know, it was that Atlanta snap, trap sound, right? Out of the only place in the South that was messing with Atlanta sonically at that point was New Orleans, right? Because Wayne was still going crazy. You had Boozy and Webby was going crazy. Wipe Me Down, Independent, you know what I'm saying? It's like the early millennium, 2000. Now you had dudes dropping out, like Texas was coming through. Your Mike Jones, your Paul Wall, your Millionaires and all that, right? Some Thuggers and all that. But Atlanta was the ones that was, every time something dropped, it was going crazy, right? Think about it. Remember early on, every dude that dropped from Atlanta, he was gone. Starting off like, when T.I. came out the cut in 99, but I'm serious, he was spinning balls on that joint, but once he came like 24 and Rubber Band Man, and then he had dudes like David Banner, producer from shout out David Banner, was putting on for the South, Jackson, Mississippi and all that. And then Tip came through. Then you had dudes like Luda came through, right? That was spitting balls, but he was animated like Buster, right? He was like the South Buster Rhymes, but he won't like, shout out to Buster Rhymes too, another legend, man. And shout out to Luda, a legend, but he was animated with the flow, but he was, he was killing it. So it's like Atlanta, okay, boy. Besides, like the dungeon, you got other dudes out here to spin from Atlanta, right? Then, like I said, this early on, but once the boys got a hold of the ball and the sound changed, it just sounded good in a car, and the whip with the beat in it, Atlanta music, that that bass, and it was just so hard, right? It was like, Jeezy, money over here, man. I remember hearing shit like that. I remember hearing Travel Down like that. And I'm like, damn, these niggas going dumb, like. And I was saying to myself, it's over for that booty rapper is coming out at this point. You know what I'm saying? Because it was 05, 06. I can remember correctly. The only dudes that was still like eating a little bit off that booty rap was the Unit. Cause the Rock had broke up. The Unit kind of, Dipset had kind of went through their little phase, and I said, Terror Squad was, Fat Joe, I think he had leaned back, he held it down, John, he had it, New York John, I think it was on like for D-Block, Kissing the Boys, man, like 05, like New York was like almost about to be washed, man, not saying like that, but as far as like the music sonically that was coming out in New York, was really current at the time, because even at that point, I'm going down south. I'm going through Atlanta, I'm going through Texas, and they listen to Chop and Screw, and they listen to like Jadakiss got Wild Out, and they got Chop and Screw. I'm like, damn, they doing like that, and I couldn't listen to it for a long time. I was out like a month. Man, I said, I can't listen to crazy shit. I got leaned up. Next thing I know, I said, oh, this shit sound good. So you gotta be part of the culture, understand the culture as far as this hip hop thing, See, people wanna use hip hop as like it's a, you wanna be in it, but you don't be part of it. You wanna diss it, but you don't be part of it. You can't diss it and then be not part of it. It's like saying, I'm a Ku Klux Klan member, but I don't white, at the same time, like, you in it, bro. You either in or you out. Feel me? People why they hate rappers, but and then you say you do the same thing that rappers do. Like, what do you mean? Like, it's my thing, man. I said, coming from an 80's baby perspective, as a grown ass man now, old ass man now, seeing things in a whole different light. Even at night, I realized that I am what I am because I am what it made me, right? And I say, I am what it made me, mean my environment. If I had a better environment, I would have been a better person, but I was in an environment where I had no choice. You know, we get born to this shit. We don't have a say-so. You get what I'm saying? And the thing is, right, we equivalent a lot of things to how much money we got and how big our house is and, you know, how much material things we got. But at the end of the day, you know, we could lose all that in an hour, right? Blink. But what we don't want to do is not judge each other because of that. You know, let's make sure that it's enough to go around, you know? So therefore, you don't have to look down on somebody because they don't have more than you. You can actually help them advance their situation so they can be in the same situation as you. You know, like I said, you know, we come from an era where music made a difference and how we listened to it was different and how we felt about it was different. Now it's everywhere. A push of a button. You know what I'm saying? Ain't no going to the record store and all that. You know what I'm saying? Ain't no carrying radios. Feel me? When niggas don't know about no cassettes, no speakers knocking, man. You got earbuds now, AirPods. Your phone, you got all that. See, like I said, when they tape pop, man, you like, shit, you gotta check it out, unwind it, take a pencil, unwind it, from the eraser part, right? Then get a piece of, you can use tape. We were so good in the hood. We'll take a little label off the 40 pound, you know, a little 99-cent label, and put it right on the cassette tape and make it stick. It don't never come on. It'll just hear it go, you at that part, but it'll still play. But I said, you know, like I said, well, everything, one of those CDs, and like I said, it's the era I come from. Era made me in this era, it still reflects to this day. So my whole journey is basically, it's all full circle. Ain't nothing to understand. Ain't nobody no more. We act like we achieve a certain status and act like we made it, right? And in real life, we never have or will achieve certain financial situation where we can say that we have more money than a lot of people, right? As a people, right? There's one guy with 140-something billion. Like Jeff Bezos had like hundreds of billions of dollars, right? That's enough money to give everybody at least a check for $250,000. But I'm not saying he should do that or he's supposed to. I'm just saying that's the kind of money he got. But like I said, we act like we have that type money. You know, we might, as a people, have tens of thousands, hundreds of thousands to millions, tens of millions, hundreds of millions. Maybe there's a couple black people with $2-3 billion, something like that. You know, something like that. A couple $1 billion, couple, you know, non-native people. But that's few and far between, and in the grand scheme of things, you know, that kind of money ain't achievable for all of us, right? But yeah, we had like, when we get a couple thousands, maybe a couple millions, that we are just the most wealthiest people on earth, knowing that all this material bullshit is bullshit, pardon my French, but right? Like I said, for example, how Kanye said he was a billionaire, right? I'm a billionaire, right? And he said the wrong thing about what? whatever he said, I know he said, but if it was not a lie, why would they take all his money from him? You get what I'm saying? How you go from being a billionaire to saying something wrong and they take money from you, now you in the hundreds of thousands, hundreds of millions? Hundreds of millions? Like, that's the thing, right? If Kanye West can have billions of dollars and speak something that might be too close to what might be the truth, if it didn't hurt so bad, why they take his money? You get what I'm saying? Like, that go to show you really don't want nothing. Say something wrong, do something wrong. Whatever you think you got in the mattress on the bank or whatever, property, whatever, they taking that. You know, that's what they're gonna do anyway. When you gone, they gonna do nothing, take it. You gonna inherit somebody, they gonna take it. See, we try to realize on this planet Earth, we think that we gonna be here forever. We playing like as if we ain't gonna never die. Not knowing any day could be your last, right? But this is the thing. We live to get old. And nowadays we look at 40, 50, 60 years old. It was probably to live years, hundreds, years like 100 old, right? I don't say 40 old. I say old is only living different. You feel me? I'm 42, only living different, baby. I might not do the things I used to. I might do the same things I used to. But I ain't the same person I was. Last year or the year before that, That's what I'm saying is this. As we evolve, the world evolves. We gotta get an understanding of who we are. So we 80's babies. We the crack babies, we the 80's babies, we the rap babies. Change the kick baby, clothes and Kangos. All we knew was what we saw. So how you gonna tell us to grow up when we growing, like we 50, like we feel like you telling us to grow up, pull his pants up, hip hop man having his pants sagging for 40 years. Hip hop been banging blood and crip for 40 years. Hip hop been saying fuck a bitch for 40 years. Hip hop been saying fuck that nigga for 40 years. Shoot him up, bang bang for 40 years. So now all of a sudden, when it gets to the point where our kids and grandkids are becoming rappers, what they say is to be held accountable for. Meanwhile, through the whole 80's and 90's, you had dudes rap about shit that, if it was true, they ass should have been in jail, right? Scarface. I respect Scarface. All right, DJ X from the Ghetto Boy. Man, listen to Scarface albums. If he didn't have that shit he rapped about, you think he'd be alive right now? You think he'd be out and breathing right now? I mean, I'm just saying this, man. We as a people know that rap music is all we got as a culture. It made black people richer than it ever made anything. But rich for black folks. And it was all off of art expression. It was off of thought and off of rhyme pattern, off of beat, and it was off of what was in your heart and your mind at the time and your conditions. And it wasn't about, I'm gonna kill a nigga dead when I see him and kill a nigga dead. You might say you can kill him literally, but I mean the same thing that was going on then is still going on now, right? But it's been magnified to the highest level, to the point where everything you say you can be held accountable. Everything you do is gonna be held accountable, right? But what separates the art from reality, man? I said, you go back in the days, some dudes were talking about a lot of stuff. You know what I'm saying? I ain't put them dudes on Rico laws, you know what I'm saying? And I ain't really talking about anybody specifically, but I notice how now they use rap as a target versus how it used to be for a tool. I learned a lot of things from listening to hip hop. Hip hop saved my life, right? I mean, because it was that music, that culture that kept me alive, kept me going. It was that new sound, it was that new tape I was playing when I listened to it in my Walkman, and it was just like, it just drove me, you know, walking from school, walking home, whatever, to the store, just consumed by it, and it was just like, it made me feel like, man, I can't wait to hear more of this. I can't wait for years to come, and this is like, it was playing on the radio, you know, like back in the days when they would play underground stuff on the radio, right? And it'd be singles and all that. And it was just like, the culture was so much more in tune with reality than now ever, right? Because you can't do one thing but do another. You can't say one thing but say another. I mean, all these shows on TV is so blatantly, but yeah, if you say something as crazy as no homo, you get fined in the NBA. You know what I'm saying? Like, dog, you got dudes prancing around here dressing like chicks all day on like P Valley and shit. But you get fined for saying no homo. Like, it's the world we're living in nowadays, you know? Like, when your words are held accountable now, but it's art, right? So everything you say now, it better be painted pretty, or else they gonna paint your ass on a motherfucking wall. You feel me though? And for real though, lyrics will say they what the rap game, and they really need to be brought back. Now, I'll listen to drill if I can hear something good come on. They talking about, you know what I'm saying, doing something positive with drill. I'll listen to it. Y'all talking about killing someone. But y'all niggas say, I'm going to school today. I ain't even got to put the pool away. I'm just going to lay up in the pool today. Y'all niggas already know I'm a pool boy. I'm just ain't like, not be funny. Like, this ain't how you rap it. Doing something besides hit him with the chocolate shit to the doctor, 50 shots, got him. I don't give a fuck about this problem. I'm just saying, these niggas is rapping crazy. All right, I'm just being kind of like sarcastic. But anyway, the culture has been going to a point where it's been going to destruction. A demonic kind of vibe, you know, it ain't been no positive nothing. Feel me? You know, ain't nothing really coming out of hip hop that's saying, like, as far as, you know, how rap was in its infancy. Where it made you feel like, you know, you want to get your mind right, you know. These dudes now, this is when they get their mind right. Crazy. But you know, like I said, that's when you're young, man. You think young, you reckless, but when you get my old ass age, you only living different. Only living different. You ain't gonna wanna be out here in these streets all your life. See, you know, hip hop as it's growing older now. Everybody can't be a rapper and trap. Somebody gotta go to school. Somebody gotta clean up. Somebody gotta, you know what I'm saying? Everybody can't, you know what I'm saying? Somebody gotta cook. You know what I mean? We need more hip hop in positions where, like, okay, hip hop, let them in. You feel me? Like, it needs to be for the whole culture. Not just for the artists, but you understand, it's a genre, man. It's something that we have sacred to us because that's all we had. And it was a thing, it wasn't about color, it was a vibe. And it was about who was good at it. Who could say words the nicest. Who could put words together. You know what I'm saying? That's about from off the top of the head or red. That's about if you was nice off the head, you was God. But you know, like, from coming up with some of the craziest beats, I said through Virginia, when Virginia got their shot on, they was coming through with them beats. And they changed the game. It wasn't about the lyrics no more. Because Magoo wanted the best lyricists, period. Timberland wanted the best lyricists, period. Sebastian wanted the best lyricists, period. But behind the Timberland beat, P. Pablo, prime example. Shout out to P. Pablo. North Carolina, you know what I'm saying? P. one of the best lyricists. P. had bars, though. P. had bars, you know. P. was, you know what I'm saying? It was nice for that time period, for that era. I said, with the beats, but at the same time, man, what's the guy from the era? The can radios, the cassettes knocking? The whole game was fucked up. They went from this sugar to shit. And I ain't saying that. You know, it's all like my point of view, my story. Like, I ain't trying to disrespect nobody. But, like I said, as being someone that's seen the culture grow from young kids to 40, 50 years old, 60 years old, man, I feel like I damn sure do got some say-so in this culture because we so caught up with following these fake celebrities and we don't realize they ain't shit. Not to say like that. I mean, they not gonna give you nothing. They don't buy music, make them, they ain't gonna do nothing for you. They tell you don't follow them, but meanwhile, what they doing for you? What they telling you? I mean, at the end of the day, we all gotta survive. But I respect someone. I can see high level. And more or less, I can see high level. Because at the end of the day, it's all look a man in his eye when he up there on his high horse. I can look a man in his eye when he can see me, man to man. Because at the end of the day, we both put our pants on the same way.